Guilty or innocent, it's our time to find out all these cases in Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Hey buddies, it's Will of DAGames. This is a game that I have been contemplating playing for the longest time because of the narrative and how long these episodes are. And also, I don't know if you guys really pay interest to Phoenix Wright, but this is a cornerstone into what I want to play from now on rather than digressing against what is right and what is wrong. This is a new leap for me. I really wanted to try out the visual novel stakes, and what better game to start with than Phoenix Wright? This is a game that I adore so much, and I've started speculating on making my own game based on sort of this kind of game. It's really cool. Also, I'm kind of brain dead. I woke up this morning and I've not been too great figuring out my life at the moment. I can't even comprehend words. So, might as well read words on a script and see if we can voice them. That's probably the best way to do it today, so why not? But the first episode is the first turnabout. This is the very first case that Phoenix takes on, and let's go. I'm really excited for this. This one already gasps, I'm just reading the text, is coming in with a murder mystery. So let's see what we got here. As far as I believe, you don't do a court case in this one. Don't do an investigation case. Damn it. Why me? I can't get caught. Not like this. I've got to find someone to pin this on. Someone like him. I'll make it look like he did it. He's got like the dot on his face as well, which is pretty cool. August 3rd, 9:47 a.m. in the District Court Defendant Lobby, number 2. The music is really good in this, by the way, as well. Boy, am I nervous.
Right.
Oh, this is Mia. Hi, Chief.
Whew, I'm glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. It says a lot about you, and your client as well.
Thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a favor.
A favor? You mean you knew the defendant before this case?
Yes. Actually, I kind of owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney.
Well, that's news to me. I want to help him out any way I can.
I just really want to help him. I owe him that much. It's over! My life, everything, it's all over!
Is that your client screaming over there?
Yeah, it's him. This is where we get to meet Larry Butts.
Death! Despair! Oh! I'm gonna do it! I'm gonna die!
It sounds like he wants to die. Yeah.
Nick!
Hey there, Larry.
Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell them I'm guilty. Tell them. Give me the death sentence. I ain't afraid to die.
What? What's wrong, Larry?
Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. Finished! I can't live in a world without her. I can't. Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Ah, Nick, you gotta tell me. Who took my baby away?
The person responsible for your girlfriend's death. The newspapers say it was you. Yeah, everybody's saying that it was him. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. My first case is a fairly simple one. This is a murder trial, as we know. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts. My best friend since grade school. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. Sniffing butts in that comment section right now? I bet you are, son. Sniff them for me. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I can say, though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. That and I owe him one, which is why I took the case, to clear his name. And that's just what I'm gonna do. Here we go. I think this is our case. August 3rd, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 2. We're always in courtroom number 2, it seems. Here we are. We also get to deal with Payne, Mr. Payne.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright? This is your first trial, is it not?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm, a little nervous.
Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness.
Yes, Your Honor. Hands shaking, eyesight fading.
The test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. Please state the name of the defendant in this case.
Me, Larry, or my help in this case. I mean, the defendant is obviously Larry Butts, so let's just go with that. The defendant? Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor.
Correct. I was about to say, I'm sniffing a lot of penis mess here. Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me, what's the victim's name?
Whew, I know this one. Glad I read the case report record so many times. Oh yeah, we get a court record too. So it's Cindy. Cindy is the name. It's, wait, No way, I forgot. I'm drawing a total blank here.
Phoenix, are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name.
Oh, the victim? Of course I know the victim's name. I just forgot. Temporarily.
I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the victim's name is listed in the court record. Just press tab to check it at any time, okay? Remember to check it often. Do it for me, please. I'm begging you.
Mr. Wright, who is the victim in this case?
Cinderblock. It is Little Cinderblock, sir. The victim's name is Cindy Stone.
Correct. Now tell me, what was the cause of death? She died because she was...
Hit with a blunt object, we know that much. She was struck once by a blunt object.
Correct. You've answered all my questions. You have a free gay card. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure.
Well then, first, a question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne?
Yes, Your Honor.
As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was?
The murder weapon was the statue of the Thinker. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim.
I see. The court accepts it into evidence.
And there we go, we've got Thinker. So as the court case goes on, we don't just have to do the investigations to get evidence. Sometimes the prosecution will hand over evidence. And sometimes the witness, and you'll see.
Right. Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Use tab to check the court record frequently.
As another reminder, Jesus, this Coke's doing well.
Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness.
The prosecution calls defendant Mr. Butts to the stand.
Chief, what do I do now?
Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information. That might help your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate.
Uh-oh. Larry gets excited easily. Uh-oh!
Stinky.
Here's Larry. Here's our Butts.
Mr. Butts, is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you? Hey, watch it, buddy. We were great together. We were Romeo and Juliet, Shaggy and Scooby.
See what I did there?
Cleopatra and Mark Antony.
Didn't they all die?
I wasn't dumped. She just wasn't taking my phone calls or seeing me, ever. What's it to you, anyway? Mr. Butts, what you describe is generally what we mean by dumped. In fact, she had completely abandoned you and was seeing other men. She had just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder. What do you mean, one of them? Lies! All of it! Lies! I don't believe a word of it! Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died.
The passport has been added, so there we go. Another piece of evidence. We've got the Thinker and passport.
Indeed, she appears to have returned the day before the murder.
Dude, no way! The victim was a model, but did not have a large income. It appears that she had several sugar daddies. Daddies? Sugar?
I never thought I'd say daddies in the Shaggy voice.
Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. Dude! We can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now?
Right. I don't think you want him to answer that question. Yeah, Larry has a way of ruining his mouth in all the wrong directions. Should I? I'm gonna stop him from answering. My client had no idea the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to this case.
Ugh, oof. Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? That cheating she-dog? I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, and when I meet her in the afterlife, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this.
Let's continue with the trial, shall we? believe I'm starting to get wet over this.
I believe the accused's motive is clear to everyone.
Yes, quite.
Oh boy, this is so not looking so good.
Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Well, did you or did you not? Well, maybe I did, and maybe I didn't.
Uh-oh, he went. What do I do? Have him answer honestly. I know, I'll send him a signal. Tell the truth.
Yeah, I was there.
Order! Well, Mr. Butts,
Dude, chill. She wasn't home, man, so, like, I didn't see her. Your Honor, the defendant is lying.
lying?
The prosecution would like to call a witness who could prove Mr. Butts is lying.
Well, that simplifies matters. Who is your witness?
The man who found the victim's body, just before making the gruesome discovery. He saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime.
Rabble. Lots of rabbling.
Order! Order in the court! I'm gonna have an aneurysm at this point. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is bad. This is very bad.
On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring Mr. Fank Saw It to the stand.
Saw it. So you'll know some of these people have puns in their names. A lot of dad jokes. Knee slap! That actually kind of hurt. Fuck.
Mr. Saw It, you sell newspaper subscriptions, is this correct?
What did I do?
Oh, yes. Newspapers, yes.
Mr. Sawit, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder.
Then here we go. We have a testimony first, so we get to hear everything.
I was going door to door, selling subscriptions, when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry, because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there. A woman, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. The man who ran was without a doubt the defendant sitting right over there.
Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that.
Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working?
Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building.
Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout?
Yes, Your Honor, but some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Saw used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your pursual.
Blackout record. Electricity in Miss Stone's building was out from noon on 6 p.m. on the day of the crime. To 6 p.m.
Now, Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor.
you may begin your cross-examination.
Cross-examination, Your Honor?
All right, Wright, this is it. The real deal.
What exactly am I supposed to do?
Why, you exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave.
Lies? What? He was lying?
Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony.
Or is it your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not?
You hold the key. It's in the evidence.
Now we have a look at all the evidence here. One of the lines in there should pinpoint to one of these things. Sometimes it just takes a press, but...
Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face.
Okay. Cross-examination time! Let's do it!
I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment.
Well, I guess we can press. Isn't a man leaving an apartment a common sight? I find it odd you'd take notice of him.
I don't know, he just seemed strange to me, that's all. Like he was mad and yet frightened at the same time. Just like a criminal fleeing the scene of a crime.
The defense requests that the witness refrain from conjecture.
Of course, what the witness means is that the man he saw looked suspicious, so what happened next?
I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. That doesn't really have much. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. When I saw her lying there, a woman not moving dead. Oh, Christ. The victim apparently arrived home from Paris. Miss Stone's building was out from noon. I think it was the blackout record. I'll press on this one.
Are you sure he was dead? Well, no, I guess I wasn't. But she wasn't moving at all, and there was blood everywhere.
I guess that would look fatal to anyone. Very well, what happened next? I quailed in front and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately, however the phone in the apartment wasn't working. The phone in her apartment wasn't working. Remember the time? It was 1 p.m. Let's see. Was it in this? Yes, it was. There we go, I remember it. You found the body at 1 p.m., you sure?
Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain.
Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at some time after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap?
Oh,
Oh, here we go with an objection.
this is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time.
After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Side, why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.?
Gee, that's a really good question.
Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one, and their whole story falls apart.
Wait, I remember now.
Would you care to give your testimony again?
You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding.
You see his hand movements as well. That is something to give away.
I see. You heard a voice saying the time on a taped program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Right. You know what to do. I've got this one. I've got it. I know this one. I'm pretty sure of it. I heard the time. You said heard, not saw?
Yes, heard. All I saw was the body lying there. I didn't think to look at anything else, least of all my watch.
Isn't that a little strange? So you're saying you heard something, but if you were so shocked by the body, you wouldn't hear anything at all.
The witness did say he actually heard the time. It's ludicrous to suggest he wouldn't hear anything.
I have to agree with the prosecution. Witness, continue your testimony.
There was a voice.
Saying at the time it was probably coming from the television. It was the blackout. Couldn't hear the television if it was at the time because there was a blackout. Hold it right there! The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery, and this record proves it. You couldn't have heard a television or a video.
Her defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Side?
No, I find it quite puzzling myself. Quite. Wait, I remember now.
Mr. Side, the court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. And you seem rather distraught.
My apologies, Your Honor. That must have been the shock of finding the body.
Very well, Mr. Side, let's hear your testimony once more, please.
Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. There was a table clock in that apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to kill the victim. That must have been what I saw.
You saw a clock? I guess that would explain it. The defense may cross-examine.
Gladly. Yeah, this guy's full of lies. Let's freaking go. Let's go. I think it's on either the second or the third thing that we present this. Yeah, there we go. Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock, it was the statue. Now, how is this supposed to be a clock?
You with your objections and your evidence. Just who do you think you are?
Just answer the question, Mr. Side.
Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes, Mr. Payne?
as the witness stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submitted it as a statue. My apologies.
I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with his testimony now?
Yes, I do, actually. Your Honor, there's a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hand. Yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Clearly a contradiction.
Indeed.
The witness knew it was a clock because he went into the apartment. You're lying! You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder.
Oh yeah? Prove it! Prove I went in there!
I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with the clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard.
Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. This is really cool. I just love the music in this as well. Actually, the Pursuit covered record is the best one by far, I think. Mr. Side, the sound must have left quite an impression on you. And there's the blood dripping, that's the murder weapon. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time.
What's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture.
Baseless? Just look at the witness's face.
Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with a clock?
That day, I never. Look, the clock, I heard, no. Ah!
Yep, and we got hit in the face by his wig.
Shut up, I hate you. That was him, I tell you. I saw him. You and your withering penis.
That wasn't in the script.
He killed her and should burn. Burn, give him to death.
Order in the court, I say.
Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims.
Mr. Wright,
Your Honor,
you claim the sound witness heard came from the clock. I can't speak today. Do you have any evidence?
the whole case is riding on this. Better think it through carefully. Your Honor, the sound Mr. Saw heard was definitely this clock. A fact which is clear if you simply try sounding it. Let's sound the clock now, here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully. I think it's 8:25.
That certainly is a strange way to announce the time.
Well, he is the thinker after all.
So, we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright?
Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now?
It's
11:25. Ah!
As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between that what Miss Sawit heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Sawit, try to talk your way out of this one.
You forgot one thing.
Uh-oh. What's he talking about now?
While it may seem like a clock is running 3 hours slow, it proves nothing. How'd you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case.
Ah, he's right. How am I gonna prove that?
Damn it, I was so close.
Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim.
Yes, Your Honor.
This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately, this ends the cross-examination of Frank Sawit.
I come all the way down here to testify, and look what happens. You treat me like a criminal, a criminal. You lawyers are all slime.
I almost had him. Sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now. And then you get given this.
Not so fast, Mr. Sawit.
Chief.
Listen up, Wright.
Don't throw this one away. Not like this.
Think.
But Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that.
Well, yes, but that doesn't mean you can't still win.
Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it.
Think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason, and you'll have your proof.
Right? Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Time zones. We've got to think about the travel here. Wait! Maybe I can prove it.
You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, Wright.
Find it and let them have it.
Well, Mr. Wright, you say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim?
Of course. There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt.
Ha! Tough words. Let's see you pull this one off.
Let's see this evidence that proves why the clock was running slow.
It's this. The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast. The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in the apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Saw It? Or should I say, Mr. Did It? Yep, he did it. Abso-fuckalutely.
Order! Order, I say! Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your witness.
He was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor.
Very well. Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor.
I have to say I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly and find the true culprit at the same time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts,
Not
guilty!
confetti! We got all the confetti in the world! I love it.
And with that, this court is adjourned.
And that's the court case, guys. Now we get the aftermath. It turns out that Frank Saw It was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house. That day, when Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Saw It let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Saw It grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find. And that's where he was murdered. She was murdered. Or he murdered her. My mind is weird. Let's go with that. Defendant lobby number 2. Phew. I still can't believe we won. Right. Good job in there. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Not at all. Not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've been to trial and on such a satisfying note. I've never seen the Chief looking this happy. If she's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel.
My life, it's over.
Larry, you're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now?
Aw, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone soon. I'll be smoking doobies and riding mystery machines in no time. Oh, I'm so dead.
Good. Wait, no. I mean bad. Bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed.
But my Sydney Windy's gone, man. Gone forever.
Larry, she was a... Nah, never mind. Congratulations, Harry.
Harry?
Yes, you. I can practically see the headline now. Harry Butts, innocent.
Thanks. I really owe you one. I won't forget this ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner, movie, my treat.
Oh, no, I couldn't. Hey, I was the one to get you off the hook.
Oh, hey. Here, take this. It's a present.
A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that...
Actually, I made this one for her. I made one for her and one for me.
Really? You made this? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento.
Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick. And she was just playing me for a fool. Don't that make you just want to cry?
Larry... Are you so sure?
Excuse me?
I think she thought quite a lot of you in her own way.
Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me. It's okay.
Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right? Do you have something to show to your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him?
Huh?
Oh, yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about? She's talking about the statue. Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just a chump to her.
Huh? What about that clock?
This is the clock you made for her, Larry. And she took it with her, and she traveled.
Whatever. She probably just needed a clock, that's all.
You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, make of it what you will.
Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Oh, thanks.
Hope that made him feel a little better. Right? I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People, too. We never really know if your client is guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right. Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never.
Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off?
Yeah, I guess so.
Say, how about dinner on me? We'll drink a toast to innocent butts.
Yeah, innocent butts. You can't put those two in the same sentence. Fuck Jesus.
Oh, speaking of Harry, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him.
Yeah, part at least.
You'll have to tell me more about it sometime. Maybe over drinks?
And so, my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends." But I'm pretty sure he's not gonna pay us. Unless you count the clock he gave Mia. I didn't know it then, but that clock was soon gonna be at the center of another incident. My promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise that I wouldn't be able to keep. The end. And that was Phoenix Wright's first episode in Ace Attorney. The next episode involves that very scene, where the episode is Turnabout Sisters. So we're going to save our progress during this point. We also get save data here, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, that's our on to the second episode we go after this. I won't be doing this until afterwards. Let's see how this episode goes. If you guys didn't like it, it's okay. We did one first case. Left it on a nice little cliffhanger. If you guys want it, let's shoot for 5,000 likes, and we'll try to get another episode out as soon as possible. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, I'm going to get going, guys. If you like what you saw here, click like and subscribe. Share with friends and family, maybe your dog. Check out DAGames official in your court records to find out on Twitter if you want the newest information on animations, music, let's plays, and live streams. I'm Will of DAGames, and we play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Episode 1. Now we're going to Turnabout Sisters. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out!